So many times people have the question, especially in these times, how do I develop an ability to acknowledge the suffering I see in the world without feeling overwhelmed or depressed or discouraged by it? Because either we go to an extreme of kind of denying the suffering we see, or maybe we think in an ability to look at suffering, we're going to be paralyzed by feelings of being overwhelmed or helpless. And so this is where it's really important to address this question. And I think that the answer to this really lies in Buddhist teachings on compassion. So for Buddhists, we define compassion in a very specific way. We say that it's a mind that observes other suffering, cherishes the person, meaning we care about them, we care about their suffering, but then wishes for their freedom from it, like wishes to release them from their suffering or protect them from their pain. So it's a special way of responding to an observation of suffering. And I think sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we're not realizing that it's a particular response to the suffering we see. But it's just one response. So we can see suffering and we can respond to it by feeling overwhelmed. We can see suffering and respond by feeling afraid. We can see suffering and respond by feeling angered, but none of which are very positive or productive. So when we develop the mind of compassion, what we're doing is we're looking at the suffering, but we're also at the same moment seeing beyond it to a person's potential freedom from it. So the example I really like is if one were to be in an accident, say a serious accident, and say your body's damaged. Maybe you're taken to a hospital and there's a host of emergency staff that come to your aid. That emergency staff's ability to assist you depends on their ability to focus beyond your suffering to a potential remedy. Right, so they'll see you're in pain, right? They'll see that your body's damaged. But in that same moment, they're focused on what can relieve you from your pain. You know, what can repair the damage. And if they couldn't do that, they would have no power to help you. So I think similarly, if we rely upon the mind of compassion, we can have a courage and a eyes wide open approach to seeing the breadth and depth of other suffering, while at the same time remaining incredibly positive and optimistic, because we're relating to or focusing on a person's potential freedom from it, and then we're working towards that aim. So then it protects us from feeling overwhelmed.